what I've learned in the past 40 years that I'm going to share with you guys so you don't have to. Like, I wish I could pour my life into every single person in this world so they don't have to go through the horrible things. Um, anyway, so let's begin. I wrote everything down, well, as much as I could. So, first thing is money. I've learned that money is important. Me, as a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old, I didn't believe in money. I was a unicorn. I was like happy go lucky. I don't need to work. I'm not gonna, I don't know, savings, having a house or a land or something. I wasn't that like at all. I would give all my money. I would pay everybody everything. I was like, yeah, everything's fine. Like living in the moment completely. But the thing is, now when I'm 41 and having a child and being through a horrible divorce and a horrible marriage and went through other stuff that were not nice and not good at all, I came to realization that in this world, guys, in this world, we need money. We need material possessions. And even though I am spiritually, doing a lot of stuff, I'm evolved, I'm very present and everything, for me to live in this world and create in this world that we're living in, I need money. So that's my first realization. I wish every single 20-year-old out there would realize that and put their 2 feet on the ground and start working and putting their money aside and buying a land, buying a house, investing, getting really good with the finances while they're working their, on their spiritual stuff, on their psychological stuff and everything else, because it's easier. Like right now, I went to a shop and I needed a washing machine. My washing machine died. So I went into the shop. I said, can you give me the cheapest washing machine? And the guy was like, yeah, it's this one. I was like, okay, do you install the washing machine? Yes, we do. It's 30 euro. Okay, fine. Guys, I took out my credit card. I said yes. And I paid for it. I was done in 2 minutes. Like literally in 2 minutes, I was done. I solved my problem. I'm going to get my washing machine on a Tuesday. And I loved it. Like I sat in my car and I was like, oh my dear God, like I love this. Like it's the easiness of living in this life. Even 2 years ago, I would be thinking, oh my God, where do I get this money? Oh, how do I would go through every single store where it's the 20 euro cheaper or whatever. Today I went in and I bought what I needed to and I went out. No hustle, no fuss, nothing. It was done. So if you can, try to make peace with money and financial stuff and material stuff, because this is material world. And every single person who is spiritual out there, guys, this is material world. We need money, we need material stuff, because that's how we live. That's how we express ourselves, mostly. Okay, so that's number two. Already 3 minutes. That's okay. That's number one. Sorry. Number two, spirituality can take you down the wrong path. How is this possible? You guys heard of a spiritual bypass? Probably. Well, if you are using spirituality to bypass all the issues you have in this world, for example, you're working in a toxic environment with a toxic boss, etc., and you are meditating every day and you're being positive and you're doing affirmations and you're going to therapy and you're doing a lot of stuff and you're making yourself good for that day, and then you stay at that job for the next 10 years because every day you make yourself good, but actually when you come home you feel horrible, you have no energy to pursue your personal calling, you have no energy to do anything good in this world because this toxicity is eating you up and you're using all your energy just to stay in that job day in and day out. That's one example. Another one would be staying in a bad relationship. Like, it's just the way we use spiritual tools. The way we use spirituality. For example, twin flames. Guys, don't let me start it on twin flames. Like, oh, twin flames, we are here. We're supposed to be, I don't know, evolving together. When I see him, he will abuse me, but that's okay. That is never okay. All right? That takes you off your path. Because what I discovered, we all came here with some gifts and we need to share these gifts in this world, in this material world, okay? So if somebody's attacking me, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, please attack me. God, no. I will use all my spiritual knowledge to understand that that person is probably in the dark, has some evolving to do, or whatever. And then I will remove myself from there, try to learn from that situation. Why did I attract that? And then I will move on with my life. I will sort that out in therapy. I will meditate on that. I will write about that. I will face my shadow, but I will not stay in that relationship or in that job or whatever you're doing, the habits or etc. Like, that's where spirituality will take you down the wrong path. I am telling you this because I did that. I was on that path. I was with a very wrong man, and I used all of my meditating, all of my presence, all of my everything to see him in the best light, and he was a psychopath, sociopath, and narcissist. You can put him in all those boxes. So the thing is, I went down very wrong path because I was doing the spiritual bypass. I was doing everything in my power that I knew to make myself feel great next to a person who is actually abusing me. So guys, please, if you can, take something from this and see where you are not facing reality. I know Abraham Hicks, I know law of attraction, I know all that, gotcha. But guys, if somebody's abusing you, remove yourself from a situation. If you're doing a job that is not fulfilling and it's toxic, remove yourself. You don't have to even do it physically. Just remove yourself psychologically and see everything clearly. That's facing reality, because then you can actually make a choice and make a different choice, and you can choose your path, a different path. Okay, I hope this makes sense. I'm gonna make another video especially on this. Okay, third one. What I learned in my past 40 years, family is so important. Your primary family is so important because they gave you the programming that you are now living with for the rest of your life. That's the first thing, that is why they are so important. Because since they gave you this programming, with them, you can see how you can unprogram yourself. If they're extremely toxic, yes, please remove yourself physically, but do not disown them. Own whatever happened. And that's the hardest part. Again, I got on a very wrong path because I thought problem was in my family. It wasn't. It was in the programming that I got as a child from my family. Deal with it. Guys, we have to deal with these stuffs. I think the problem today, with myself as well, what I see around me, everybody's living in some kind of a pink bubble, and everybody's like, oh no, that's fine, like, no, or that's his fault, that's his fault, that's his fault, that's his fault, or law of attraction. I'm not gonna look at that reality, I'm gonna create my own. Yes, all that has its place, but to change something, to make a real change, to make law of attraction working for you, to make meditation working for you, to make everything spiritual that you're working, you have to face what it is right now. That's called acceptance of the current situation. That doesn't mean that, you're happy with your family. That doesn't mean that they're the best. That doesn't mean whatever. It just means what it is. Family is horrible. Yes, but they're my family. Let me deal with that. Let me see what they did to me. And let me deal with that. Let me heal that. Let me deal with that and own that. Because if you don't, then manipulators, narcissists, psychopaths, and all of the other, those type of people, they will use that against you because you haven't healed. You're just avoiding it. You're just running away from that wound. You're just running away from there. And they will come in like a Trojan horse and get you down. I hope that makes sense. And another thing, what happens, I have to mention this as well. When you start working on yourself and dealing with stuff, with the programming that you got as a child, your family starts to change. Or they completely, they're kind of in peace, they're not bothering you, and new people come into your life that are like your perfect, real family. That happened to me, and I have to say, after so many obstacles, so many things, I have a wonderful relationship with my family that I never thought I would have, like never in my life. Okay, number 4. Okay, school doesn't mean success. Guys, I was always A+ student. I was the one, the teachers always said to my mom, oh, she's amazing, she's this, she's, I was always like the bright shining star in my class, in my school. I got in the college that I wanted. I got all the scholarships, blah, blah, blah. And now at 41, it was so stupid. Oh, God. It was so stupid to do that because that was a mask that I carried into, into my life. It was like, because everybody loved me when I was a good student. My parents didn't argue when I was a good student. There was a celebration. I got stuff. I got away with some other stuffs that because I was a good student, blah, blah, blah. But what I realize now, working at a 9-to-5 job with a salary that goes up sometimes a little bit, it's not worth it. I spent so many years sitting and learning stuff that really doesn't matter, that don't matter for me. I wish I had the courage when I was 20 something and said no to engineering and went to pursue my yoga goals or my psychology goals or just experience life outside of the classroom, outside of the system. Because as you can see, so many content creators, so many millionaires and billionaires, they quit college, they quit everything, and they're so successful because they were studying something that system doesn't teach you. They were studying people, they were studying themselves, they were seeing what works for them, what works for other people, how to sell, how to, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I mean in a good way, like how to show other people what you have and for them to pay you for that. Because I will go back to that. Every single person on this planet, I believe, and what I've discovered so far, has a gift. And that gift is to share it with the world and live a good life from sharing that gift. So yeah, like school doesn't mean success. School means you're going to be working for someone else for the rest of your life. Maybe you'll have startup business, but it's going to be the same system. It's I wouldn't recommend it. If you really, really want to, yes, of course, go for it. To be a doctor, of course, you have to go to school, but doctors don't know everything, lawyers don't know everything, engineers don't know everything, and you're just kind of stuck in this path that is set with rules and ceilings. I can't earn €1 million a year. I can't make million people happy. I can't build million houses or roads in a year from working 9 to 5. But if I choose my own path and find how I can do that, there's a chance I could do that. Like there's no ceiling, if you know what I mean. Like you can evolve so much when you're not in that box of a system. Okay, so everybody out there who is thinking, oh, I'm not good at school, I'm a loser, blah, blah, blah. You're not. Just keep your sanity and keep going. You will find your way. Just don't worry about school. Okay, and fifth, and I think the most important one, is presence. I'm really curious what I wrote down because it's really important. It's presence and integrity. Integrity above everything. Now, what do I mean with this? Presence. You know that feeling when you are fully present with what you're doing, or just fully present, just being there, like when the baby's born, like you're fully present, or like even when something bad is happening, you're fully present. You have no thoughts, you have nothing, you're fully there. Or when your child makes a first step, you're fully present. If you can have that presence in your life throughout the day, as long as you can, like I know very little people can do that all the time, but if you can do that as long as you can throughout the day, there is so much joy in that. There is so much good decisions in that. There is so many connections you can make in that presence. First of all, with yourself. Secondly, with God or creator, whatever you want to call him or her or whatever it is. I believe in God. And when I am fully present, that's where I am fully connected to God, to someone who gave me life. you know? So whatever you do from presence, whatever action you take from presence, it will be good. It will be filled with life. Now, this is very philosophical. This is very transcendental. But try to meditate, or try to just sit and feel your breath, feel your body, and become fully present with what is around you and see what happens. Okay? Integrity. Guys, when you have integrity, and that means, well, for me, okay, for me, integrity means that I don't lie, I tell the truth, and if I make a promise, I do it, and that whatever I'm doing has a sense of righteousness in it, like there's lots of goodness in it, that you stand by your attitudes. Like if you have integrity, if you have this attitude of not hurting animals, for example, you're vegan, you won't, how can I say, you won't get in a relationship with someone who is hurting animals, who is hitting a dog. You won't. I did that because I was spiritual, and I made the worst mistake. I drove over all of my beliefs, all of my integrity, everything that I stand for this one guy that almost destroyed my life. And he was hitting a dog, he was eating meat, he was a horrible human being. But I was justifying it with, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, I will change him, I will put energy into that, that is BS. So presence and integrity above everything. At work, they ask you to do something that is against something you believe in. Like you could sign something off and that could kill a human. There's a possibility you will say no. Because that no will take you to, even if you get, you have to leave that job, it's fine. You will find another job that will be so much better for you. Because I've experienced both ways, where I drove over my presence, my integrity, my whole life, my whole being for another person. And I've had experiences where I said, no, that doesn't align with me. And you know what happened when I said that doesn't align with me? Everything aligned, like every single thing aligned. So that's it for now. I guess it's 20 minutes. But I hope it served you, hope you learned something, and question everything, guys. Like question everything. Question this video, question me. Who am I to tell you what to do and what not to do? This is just my experience, and I wish I knew all of this when I was 20. I wish I knew all of this. But I guess, all we can do is share with others gifts and wisdoms that we have and that we picked up along the way. Because maybe someone somewhere is listening and someone somewhere will benefit from it. Okay, have a great day or night, and I'll see you around.